Hey, so I want to do a quick video about astral projecting, other dimensions, star seeds. Now, what is that all about? So, I'm not going to go full on throttle. I'm not going to even link a bunch of videos. Well, actually, no, shut up. When I edit this, I probably will. If I edit it. But anyways, let's start with the first one. Starseeds. Starseeds is basically us in another dimension. And for some starseeds, they're also in other solar systems because we're in one solar system. But this solar system, real quick recap, the sun is a star. It's the only actual star in our solar system. And so we got the sun and we got all these other planets. So when we look up, sometimes we see these dots and they are just balls of gas or whatever. Sometimes there are other planets and other stars in other solar systems far away. And we're just seeing the light being reflected back. So the idea that in other solar systems, there are other beings born and they die and they reincarnate and they can actually come here or we can go there. And so there's some people who reincarnate into this solar system as humans, and some people reincarnate into other solar systems as these aliens, but actually starseeds. What's up? And so there are certain planets where starseeds are different types of things that we've thought as magical creatures and stuff, right? Like mermaids and fairies and the bird people and the lion people and the reptilian race and all that kind of fun stuff. And so for me, I woke up one day, had this dream, it was crazy as hell, all this stuff happened, it was trying to tell me I was Lyrian, and I was like, what? A couple months later, I happened to be on YouTube, find some stuff about starseeds, about the Lyrian race, all that fun stuff. And then a couple months ago, I had some dreams that reminded me of when I was a child and when I was like convinced I was a mermaid. It was like a whole thing in a past life, and like you couldn't tell me nothing. And so that a lot of time happens with the people of Sirius, like mermaids and certain types of fairies that we think of like glittery fairies, also come from that planet. So that's why Janae Echo has that song Psilocybin, which when I did shrooms, that is how it was. Like, it's a body party. You literally switch souls with, not switch souls, but like you be feeling stuff from other people, they feeling you, you see things are happening. It makes things happen for you. And so anyway, so that song is a lot to do with that. Anyways, call me back though. So starseeds, they are these people. And so sometimes you will remember past lives as one or different types of starseeds. Because some people come back usually to the same race or to similar races. So like, say someone's like, yeah, I spent most of my time as reptilian, but there was that one time I was Andromedan. What? You know what I mean? Or, you know, normally I'm a Palladian, but there was a few times though. Whatever. Okay. So those different types of starseeds, you'll notice that people will be very, very drawn to certain things, and it has a lot to do with them being starseeds. And so I remember one time I thought I was like in heaven or something, or the other worlds or whatever, but like the idea also of like spirituality. Okay, so certain angels. Spirit one time told me that like archangels are like a job. It's like a job title, and so different souls get to be one for like a certain amount of time. Like, so say you get to be like Archangel Michael for 100 years, and then someone else gets to be Archangel like Gab. Don't say that. Okay, never mind. The point is that okay, I'm not gonna say that name. So why is this wind blowing all of a sudden? Never mind. Anyways, the point is that people get to spend time as other types of spiritual beings in their lifetimes, in their reincarnations. And so a lot of times you might notice that there's a patron saint of something that you pray to a lot and you feel a lot of like this energy with, and it's because you might in a past life been in that title. And so whoever's in that title now, whoever soul is doing that now, it doesn't matter, because you've done it before and you feel a kindred to it. Does that make sense? Okay. So when people talk about twin flames and stuff, all the archangels have a twin flame, and they're the Arcadia or whatever. I might have pronounced that wrong. So like, my real name is Christine, right? Well, if you look up the angel that goes with Christine, I'm not going to say who it is. That's your business to figure that out if you want to. When I looked up what they do together, that was a whole nother story. But then I remember I was with this guy who was Michael, and I saw what his twin looked like. And I'm not going to bring up her name either, because you can figure it out if you want to. But those properties of both of those twin flame women had a lot to do with things that really resonated with me. And I went through this whole thing about like, well, is there like the idea of like you can have a twin flame for your light self and a twin flame for your shadow self. And so is a false flame technically the one that is more kindred to your shadow self? That is something I'm still working on now. That concept. But going back to Starseeds and why I brought that up is because the whole twin flame narrative didn't come a lot out until people started bringing up Starseeds a lot. And I think it's because there is a correlation, there's a connection to why that idea had to come into people's minds. It's almost like it was like a step one before you can get to step two and step three, step four. It's like if you can think of this concept, then we build upon it and then build upon it and then build upon it, you will have the foundation that you need. And so I know that I've been running into a lot of people in my soul tribe. And if you think of a soul tribe, if you think like how women have like 100 eggs in one ovary and 100 eggs in another ovary. Well, all those eggs are all the potential babies, right? Well, think of like a soul tribe is like, we were all the same eggs in the same ovary, kids. You know what I mean? Like, we're all soul tribe. Hey, what? Hey, soul tribe. Hey, like, oh, all of y'all. We all part of the same soul tribe. And if you were watching a TV show since 8, then that would be like a closer knit, like soul family within a soul family. Is it a dream within a dream within a dream? No, let me stop. But that would be the idea of like there's certain connected like 8 other people. And I remember like feeling that concept a lot of how I felt about like twin flames and things of that nature. And that's why I like Indigo's moon about the soul flame. Like the idea of like, say there's like 9 people, and instead of the idea that they're all connected and they shouldn't be together, it's like almost the idea that they're all connected and they will all eventually bump into each other at some points in their life. And they will awaken each other with different things every time they run into each other. And you will feel like you've always known these people your whole life and blah, 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 blah. And so I didn't realize I kept running into what I call soul tribe type people of the ovary versus like soul tribe lovers of like the Sense 8 variety. Does that make sense? Yeah. So with that, I have notes here. Wait, can you see them? I can hear them. Okay, yeah, I keep them on the wall, so I'm gonna keep looking that way. Okay. And so with these soul tribe type people, some of them are in the other worlds and things like that, and we can tap into that and be chatting with them and be doing all kinds of cool stuff. And so with astral projecting, she's bringing it back. Okay, when you astral project, then you can go and like go to those other worlds and do those types of things and see those people and be like, what's up, because I remember one time I had this dream about it, and I was in the happy underworld or something, or like or the spirit world or whatever. And it was like after people die, they all show up to this plank, and it's like, what I called it was adult summer camp. And so you see like behind me like people jet skiing and like people like doing like Harry Potter or like the magicians like doing magic in the corner, like you see stuff floating and you can see all this really cool stuff happening, right? And I'm just standing on the pier and I'm like the counselor, and I'm like, hi, so this is the underworld and it's okay, you're dead, but this is not the end. And then I just basically like blah blah blah. And so I did that for like 1,000 years, and I met a lot of cool people who are in my soul tribe there. And so everyone who was in that fucking dream, when I eventually downloaded the pattern, all those people were I had karmic links with. So it was like, yeah, they are part of your soul tribe. And I was like, but I knew it. The dreams told me. So when you realize that you got people in your soul tribe, you're just bumping into them and all that fun stuff, it's really nice, because it's just like, oh, I've known you so many times before, and we could have been best friends, enemies, lovers, cousins. You were my mama, I was your mama, you were my brother, I was your uncle. That kind of thing. And I've been different races, I've been different genders, I've been, all this kind of stuff. Even though when I heard about Age of Aquarius and they said you want to roll up, I said I'm about to come back as my favorite type of avatar, black lady. What? Anyways, I chose this. So I already knew like I wanted to look like this. Thank you. Now, not everything of how I wanted to look like probably came out exactly like I wanted, because that's really randomized. But I knew that, and I know that to be sure, like facts on facts. So, but that's because I've reincarnated so many times. Different souls have been here at different times. So a lot of times your soul age can be anywhere from like 0 to 9 or whatever. And so say you're like 7, you get more perks and you can choose more things about yourself when you get here. It's like your prenatal chart of astrology. You're able to add more things and make things more specific to how you want your life experience. When you're a new soul, you just come in here willy-nilly. You don't even know what the fuck you want to do. So you're just whatever, you're doing it. Now, how would you get new souls if everything is so old? Well, that's why it's important to understand what ascended masters are like someone like Buddha. Buddha doesn't believe in God or goddesses and whatever, right? If your soul is able to make an ego reach enlightenment, the ego does get the chance to become a new soul in the next round of things. But if the ego doesn't, and it becomes stuck, and it gets too heavy in the contrast, it will stay here on Earth as what we know as ghosts. So, it's very important. That's why the TV show The Fades, when the person would die and they would just be walking around watching their family and stuff, and they would go to the forest and then they turn into that light and ascend, that was the ego ascending, going to heaven, and able to basically either decide to be another up there in the spiritual realms, looking down at everyone, doing and just being like in heaven or hell, because technically heaven and hell is for the ego, not for the soul. The soul keeps reincarnating and do what the fuck it do. So new souls a lot of times are, like I said, ascended egos, aka similar to like the concept of ascended masters. Not the same thing of what ascended masters are, it's like a whole other thing, but it's very similar to the concept. Okay, so with the so we have a lot of new souls that come every so often, and they get to do the whole round. And so I remember as a child, me and my mom used to talk about like, not all of us came here at the same time. Like basically like your soul might be 300, someone else's soul might be 50, and someone else's soul is 500, another soul could be like 2,000, and y'all all try to hang out with each other. But that 2,000-year-old soul might be a 6-year-old, and that 50-year-old soul might be a 65-year-old. Catch yourself. So a lot of times age ain't nothing but a number. That's what it really means. Sometimes your soul is just old. It's just old. Especially if you have your top 3, especially like something like Capricorn or like Pisces, those later signs, because a lot of times old souls do come to have a little adversity. They've done so much shit. They want to have a little adversity, but sometimes they don't always want too much. It really depends on what you've been through in your particular journey. If you've ever seen Cloud Atlas, kind of similar to that. Like, you can just like keep doing like, you know, similar stuff. And similar to that, like some of those people would come back looking very similar to their other souls, but every once in a while just come like just willy-nilly with it, you know, just like, ooh, randomized for real. Right? So again, in that movie, it also talked about that idea of like soulmates and things like that. But like I said, I really do feel like soulmates are, you know, people who you just keep bumping into on the highway of time. And there are certain ones that we do have very, very strong bonds with romantically sometimes, because in our society, whatever society you're in, that it works, right? So if, you know, in this particular one, it's like, no, this person's 20 years older than me, but I'm 22 and they're 42 or 44, whatever. And this works out because I've known you from a past life. Like, it could be a thing. Like, you know, it's like, oh, it's very romantic, but what you don't know is in a past life, like, you were each other's brother. You both were brothers, right? But it's like, you're not even the same gender this time. You're not even the same race this time or something, you know? But you fall in love and you don't get the connect of like, oh, it's because we know each other in a past life. Or we even knew each other on another planet. And when it comes to other dimensions, which one time, I wasn't trying to do it, but I was working on my astral projection shit back then. And I went to another dimension. That shit was crazy. Because I had this dream, and I woke up, and I looked just like I do now. But like, the clothes that were there, the hairstyles were completely different. Like, there were certain things that we used that were being used in a different way. It was just like, what? Like, it was a lot of asymmetrical shit too. Like, I remember because like I remember I had like this hair that like, it was my natural hair, but it was like super long here, but it's like you could tell I cut it short here on purpose. I don't know. Anyways, and then there was like designs in my scalp like that I had like buzzed, but then the rest of my hair was like to here. But then you could just see like these cool designs. Anyways, and then I was like married to this particular person, I had a kid, and I was like, what? And then, oh, this was crazy as hell. It was a parallel universe where a certain family member in my family didn't die. So like I inherited this particular house, and I was living with this person, and we had a baby, and we lived in that house. So then I hadn't even moved to the state that I'm into now. Like, I was like, oh. Like, anyways. So, yeah, parallel universes, parallel dimensions. It's real. So sometimes you can get messages or things that reverberates through your multiple selves. So in parallel universes, there was a TV show on Sci-Fi that used to do Sliders. Sliders was about that, where they got stuck going through different parallel universes, and like one universe would be like, what if like 99% of the men died and we only had women or whatever, and like this crazy stuff happened. Another one was like, what if you couldn't be president after the age of 35? So like a president had to be between the ages of like 12 and 35. It was crazy. Like, it was just like fun stuff like that, you know. Just like changing with certain roles and gender and blah blah blah, and like ways we do stuff slightly, and then just small stuff where like certain people became famous and certain people didn't. You know, so yeah, just like parallel universes can be like that too. I mean, realities. Gosh, it's really hard to say it like that. Yeah, parallel realities. So that idea of like, yeah, like, you know, just one thing or these 5 different decisions makes a whole nother way of life or a way of being and way of seeing things is where that comes from. Now going back to astral projecting. With astral projection, I've had that happen a few times. There were a few times where I was just reading too much into something, and I will admit that. Like, it was like, oh, that wasn't actually happening. It wasn't, no. But the times that it was legit happening, though, there is a difference, and it's a way of how the dream goes is one way you'll know, but also there's a feeling that is unexplainable. I cannot explain what the feeling is, but I hate to say it, but it's almost like when someone's like, how will you know if you've ever had an orgasm? It's like, sweetie, if you've never had one, if you have to ask, then I don't think you've had one. Like, kind of moment, you know what I mean? It's like, if you're like, it's one of those things that should be so obvious that you're like, yep, that's what it was. Not like, I wonder. Anyways, so not a bad example, I don't know, but let me know, y'all. Let me know if these are good examples in the comments. Thank you. So yeah, but with astral projection, a lot of people do different things. You know, you can meditate beforehand, whatever, blah blah blah. But I really do feel like sometimes spirit just lets you do it when you want to, if you really want it. If you don't really want it, but you think you do, it won't come to you. Also, sometimes it just is thrown onto you because that's just what's happening. It's like sometimes you need to know something, and spirit will come through and be like, oh, you're not listening. You're not listening, you know. So that's another way to kind of like wake you up. It's like, remember, Simba, remember who you are. So yeah, so sometimes that is a thing. Also, future self conversations are really cool because time is an illusion. You can go back to your old self in your imagination and send love to your childlike self. You can send love to your future self, like anything that scares you. I used to be afraid of like certain family members dying, so sometimes I write letters or I literally speak out into the universe, like when they're going through that death, be basically saying, I love you and we can get through this. I love you and we can get through this, and we will, and we'll be fine. Because I already know when that day happens, I will be distraught, and I'm gonna need that love from my past self to that future self, because my future self don't fucking need it when that happens, when those people pass. So, and I've been doing that because of a song from Sting called Send Your Love into the Future. But anyways, so yeah, so I've been doing that anyways, but every once in a while I'll be like, oh yeah, we need to send that love because I'm gonna need it because this is serious. So just little things like that. That's another way that like it's a more conceptualized idea that you can easily do that. But if you want to go into more of the woo parallel universes, you can also speak out into the universe and just out loud, just like, hey y'all, blah blah, to other beings and things like that, and see what happens. Meditation really helps clear your mind so you can understand, but not always. A lot of times it has a lot to do more about, are you feeling it versus are you understanding it consciously, but do you understand it unconsciously? And a lot of times when you speak things, that's really helpful for your subconscious to come out. So, with just that little bridge in between. Yeah, so anything else on this? I didn't write anything down for this one, so if I missed something, this would be a part if I edit it to say, ooh, we'll just put it in another video. If not, then let's end it now. And I want to say, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And then I love you, I love me, I love us, I love we. I'll see you soon.